Hey, welcome to the recap edition of the Influential Personal Brand Podcast. It's Rory Vaden and AJ Vaden. Today we're breaking down our top 3 highlights from Rebecca Louise Vaden. Why don't you get us going?
Yes. First of all, I just love her. She's so spunky. It's such a fun interview, and she gives so much transparency and value in this interview, so highly recommend it. I would say the thing that I'm going to start with, and we've mentioned this several times now in these recaps, is the fact that we've heard it once, we heard it again, and again and again, and Rebecca just kind of came in and reiterated it again, is that YouTube is such a force to be reckoned with. And I'm so awestruck of the amount of people that we talk to that talk about the fundamental elements of YouTube being a driver for their business, but yet in kind of the external world, you don't hear a lot of that being discussed. And what I loved about her, she said that, and this was my big aha takeaway, so I'll get to it. But she said that the thing that's awesome about YouTube is it helps you really determine what your audience wants from you so that you can just give them more of the same thing, and that the more of the same thing that you give them and the more that YouTube sees that that's what people want from you, their own algorithm will help explode your videos. And that to me is just so awesome and just genius in the fact that it's like, yes, do more of what people want from you. Don't try to do all the different things. Just do more and more and more of the same thing. Yeah,
I think for me, it's interesting because there's technical takeaways from her like that I loved and took away. Also, the emotional side of just her attitude and her mindset really stuck with me. And I love just this idea of starting where you are and just starting with what you have and just be willing to just start and just go. Like, no matter how far or fast or slow you can go, just go and then reinvest and reinvest and reinvest, and you can make it bigger and better later on. But I think it was interesting because she is a client of Brand Builders also, and you know, a lot of her personal brand message, which I think is where she'll end up going long term, is really about action. It's really about helping people move and create motion and just kind of get past being stuck, and it comes through in her personality. That's a huge part of her uniqueness. So start where you're at and be willing to just reinvest and then grow from there.
I mean, that's similar to my second takeaway. And my second takeaway was, I thought it was such a unique description of how she said that she uses her direct sales business as a part of funding her personal brand and vice versa, but how she spends her time in both of them is she goes all in on one of them in a season and takes the money that she has gained from one of them to help fund the other. She said, but I'm always all in on one of them. So in some seasons, it's my direct sales business, and on others, it's my personal brand. But I think the thing that was most interesting, and she didn't say this quite this way, but is the fact that they're both synonymous with each other. Right? It's her personal brand is actually driving a ton of leads to her direct sales business. And through her direct sales business, her personal brand is gaining an enormous amount of traction, but she's spending super intentional time and seasons on each of them independently to make sure that they get what they need to get off the ground running. So I thought that was amazing. Yeah. And it goes back to the investment.
Yeah. Well, and I that was my second takeaway actually was, the best way to monetize a personal brand is to bolt it onto the thing you're already doing. Like the fastest path to cash is to just use it as an accelerant to what you're already doing. And for her, that was direct sales in the beginning and still is. And gosh, I mean, there's so many people in direct sales and other businesses, financial service, professional, all the professional services and all entrepreneurs that you can just take your personal brand and use it as a marketing engine for the thing that you already have. Why wouldn't you be doing it? I mean, I think this is just like, it's not just it's the future of marketing in general. Like, this is what personal branding is, what marketing will look like in the future. It'll be all about the personality. So I thought that was a really cool example of her, crushing it in both direct sales and her personal brand.
Yeah. And my third takeaway, and there were so many technical things, but for whatever reason, this really stuck out to me, was the fact that she started by somebody else hiring her to do YouTube exercise videos.
A casting call, wasn't it?
A casting call. And she was getting paid $40 an episode. And I just want you to let that settle in. And here's what I found that was interesting is she wasn't so sure about what her content was about. But it was, hey, I know that this sounds good and I can do this and do this. For her, it was talk while she works out. But here's what I thought was fascinating. It wasn't that she had this compelling message within her to start. It's the fact that she started.
Yeah.
And from there, she realized, I really love this. I need to do more of this. So then she got her certification. And then from that, she built her own show. And now she just released a book. And then she's got her direct sales business. It's now she's got this multi-million-dollar empire, all because she said, I don't know where this will lead, but I'm going to start with this. And it was doing somebody else's show, getting paid $40 an episode. But she was willing to just start. And from there, that's where she fell in love with what she was doing and found her passion and found her message. And it wasn't all this work you do off by yourself and then trying to make it perfect. It was no, just get in and do it and figure it out as you go.
Yeah. I also thought her mentality wasn't oh, I'm not making enough money or I'm being taken advantage of. She was like, oh, I'm learning. This is fun. I'm doing it. And then it's hey, I'm going to do this myself and figure it out.
Yeah.
Was super cool. One of the other things that she said, or we talked about that really reminded me of something that we say around here a lot is we say people don't pay for information. They pay for organization and application. And when she was talking about that, she basically just puts her exercise tips on YouTube for free. And that's what she does. That's what she's always done. And then it's well, what do people pay for? Well, they pay for more, but they pay for them more organized, right? They're longer workouts.
Organization, application.
They're organized in a way. It's not just some random 3-minute tip. It's a full 20-minute workout or a series of workouts. And now, she's rolled that into her app.
Awesome app.
This awesome app. I mean, she's just crushing the app business, which is so cool. And I think just a good reminder, because all of us are either we don't know what we would put out for free, or we go, well, I can't just teach everything I know for free. What would people pay me for? And just don't ever forget, people don't pay for information. They pay for organization and application, the assistance of implementing that knowledge into their life. That is what
that's such a good takeaway. And then to that, it's this just randomly came to me. It's the fact that she has taken this entire message in this archive of content and put it into an app. Right? It's it's one thing to do social media and all that, but it's taking it to a whole nother level in terms of what does a membership program look like for you? Now you've got to have the money and the investment to do that type of infrastructure. But if you do this the right way and you go all in, again, it's take the money you make to reinvest it to make more money. And it's building a business that you can have for a lifetime. That's so much of what it's all about.
First thousands of members she had all sharing the same password. That was how she started, right? It wasn't she scrapped her way there.
Figure it out as you go.
And you can too. And hey, that's why Brand Builders is here, is also to help you apply the things that we're learning and teaching and that our guests are. We're in the business of one-on-one coaching to help you apply this. So at some point, we hope you request a call, talk to someone on our team. If nothing else, just keep coming back here and we'll keep supporting you on your journey. That's it for now. We'll catch you next time on The Influential Personal Brand.